Do you know who is the first person to perform Umrah in the Islamic history? Who is the first Sahabi to perform Umrah in the Islamic history? That is the title and the subject for today's video, Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. In the year AD 628, Holy Prophet and almost 1500 Sahaba went to Mecca for Umrah from Medina. At that time, the Muslim community was almost strong enough. This is after the battle of Khandaq. So the Quraysh thought the Muslims are coming to attack Mecca. So this is how the Prophet and the Sahaba moved to the place called Hudaybiyah, and the incident of Hudaybiyah took place. And at last, the treaty of Hudaybiyah was made. As per the treaty, they were not allowed to do Umrah in the same year. They were allowed to do the Umrah the very next year. Soon after the treaty of Hudaybiyah, the Holy Prophet wrote 8 letters to the kings around Arabian peninsula. He sends 8 letters to the kings around Arabian peninsula. He sends a letter to the Caesar of Rome, Khusro of Persia, Egyptian emperor. He sends a letter to Oman, to Bahrain. 1 out of 8 letter was sent to Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. Thumāmah ibn Uthāl was a leader of the Yamamah region. The modern day Qasim, Riyadh, all these places belongs to the region of Yamamah. Thumāmah ibn Uthāl belongs to the tribe of Banu Hanifah. The current royal family of Saudi, they are said to be the descendants of this Banu Hanifah. So one of the 8 letters was received by Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. When Thumāmah ibn Uthāl received this letter from the Prophet inviting him to accept Islam, he became so irritated and enraged that he executed the messengers who brought that letters in. He executed the messengers. Executing the messengers means it's like violating the international law. It's like declaring war. So when the Holy Prophet came to know about this incident, he told that Thumāmah's life has no value. He told to kill Thumāmah on sight. At that time, Thumāmah was one of the most powerful leader of the whole Arabia. He was the chieftain for all of the tribes in the region of Yamamah. A few days from then, it so happened that Thumāmah decided to go for Umrah. Umrah here means a pilgrimage visit to Mecca. Even before Islam, the people around Arabia used to visit Mecca for Umrah. And so Thumāmah, as a pagan, with 5 or 6 of his very close people, went for Umrah to Mecca. At the same time, the Holy Prophet had sent a group of Sahaba on a mission to Najd area. And when these Sahaba were coming back after the mission, they came across these 5 or 6 people of Thumāmah. They found these people almost near the border of Medina. So the Sahaba asked about their details and their tribe, but they kept silence. They didn't want to disclose that they are from the Banu Hanifah tribe. So the Sahaba captured these people and they took them to Medina. Thumāmah was within this group. They didn't know this because they did not give out any of the details. They did not recognize Thumāmah. Thumāmah was one of the most powerful and most feared leader of the whole Arabia at that time. They did not know this. They captured these people and took to Medina. And Thumāmah was tied to one of the pillar of the Prophet's masjid. They just let him there, let the Prophet come and decide. After a while, the Holy Prophet came and looks at Thumāmah and asked the Sahaba, "Do you know this person whom you have captured?" And he told, "This is Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. This is Thumāmah ibn Uthāl, the powerful leader feared by the whole of Arabia." The Sahaba stared at the Prophet and just waited for his command. And the Prophet told, "Feed him from my food and give him milk from my camel." Because he is not an ordinary person, he is a mighty leader. So he should be treated in that manner. Thumāmah was tied to the masjid and he was watching everything in and around the masjid. The very next day, the Holy Prophet came to Thumāmah and asked Thumāmah, "Ya Thumāmah, what do you have to say for yourself? Do you have anything to say for yourself?" Thumāmah replied with utmost dignity, "Ya Muhammad, you know who I am. If you're gonna kill me, you're gonna make a big issue. You're killing someone of a noble blood. Or if you're gonna be generous, I am someone who knows very well to repay and be thankful. Or if you need money, I can give you what you want. He basically gives like 3 options. If you're gonna kill me, you're gonna make a big issue. If you're gonna be generous, I'll be thankful. Or if you want money, I can give you any amount of money. This is Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. Prophet kept silence and left. The very next day, the Holy Prophet came again and asked Thumāmah, Ya Thumāmah, what do you have to say for yourself? Same question. And Thumāmah replied in the same series of answers. Prophet kept silence and left again. Again the third time, the Holy Prophet came again and asked Thumāmah, Ya Thumāmah, what do you have to say for yourself? And Thumāmah replied the same way. For all those days, Thumāmah was tied to the masjid and he was watching the Holy Prophet, the Sahaba, whatever happening over there. He was watching everything. When the third time when Thumāmah replied in the same manner, the Holy Prophet said to the Sahaba, set him free and give back his camel, let him go. Just set him free. As soon as the Sahaba heard this command from the Prophet to set him free, they just untied him and gave back his camel. And he took his camel and he just went. There were some date palms behind Baqi'. So he went until there, he washed his camel and washed himself and came back to the Prophet's masjid. He came back to the masjid and sat in front of the Prophet and told, Wallahi ya Muhammad, you were the most despised man to me on this whole earth until now, but now you have been the most beloved one to me. And your religion was the most despicable to me, and now your religion is the most beloved to me. And your land Medina was the most hated, and now it is the most beloved to me. He then recites kalima and accepts Islam. Later Thumāmah told, Ya Rasulallah, I was going for Umrah, that is when your horseman captured me and brought me over here. I was on my way to Umrah. So what do you suggest now? Can I go for Umrah? He was asking permission to the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet gave him permission to go for Umrah and he was sent to Makkah. This Thumāmah ibn Uthāl doesn't belong to Medina. He is from the region of Yamamah. And therefore the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, it's not applicable to Thumāmah. He has no issues visiting Makkah or performing Umrah. So he was sent for Umrah to Makkah. And so Thumāmah became the first Muslim to come to Makkah for Umrah as per the Islamic law and the Islamic talbiyah. Qurayshi had a different talbiyah where they affirm partners to Allah under his control. So they basically establish partners to Allah. So Thumāmah enters Haram reciting the new talbiyah. Now the Quraysh saw someone reciting a different talbiyah from their own. They got irritated and angry. Who is that who is making fun of our gods? Who is that who is insulting our forefathers? They did not recognize him. So a youth of Quraysh, they pulled out their bow and arrow and aimed at Thumāmah and told, we are going to basically kill you. How dare you make fun of our forefathers and our gods? So the people gathered around Kaaba and from them somebody recognizes Thumāmah and he cries out, this is Thumāmah, you cannot touch a hair of his, or else the Banu Hanifah would come and invade. The tribe of Banu Hanifah is much stronger and much larger than the tribe of Quraysh. On top of that, because this Banu Hanifah tribe, they belongs to this northern side, any caravan or anything that's coming down from the Roman Empire area or Syria area, this is coming through the Yamamah. So they have the opportunity to cut off the supply line. So the guy told, this is Thumāmah, you cannot touch his hair. He is the chieftain of Banu Hanifah. Makkah did not have crops and vegetations, and so if the Banu Hanifah cuts off the supply line, then Makkah is no more. So don't touch Thumāmah. But the damage was already made. Thumāmah was insulted already. They didn't know this was Thumāmah. So Thumāmah told, Wallahi, I won't allow one grain of barley to reach Makkah from Syria until Prophet himself allows me to do so. He told, I won't allow one grain of barley to come down to you until Prophet says. Months went by and Quraysh began starving. They didn't have any crops and vegetations. Their main source of food was from the northern area, Syria region. Now Thumāmah has blocked all the roads leading to Mecca. People were about to die without food. And finally, Abu Sufyan writes to Prophet saying that you are a man of mercy, you are a man of kinship. We are all your family and tribe, and people are about to die of hunger now. Thumāmah has blocked all of our food supply, and he won't allow us until you command him to do so. Therefore, by Allah and kinship, help us in this situation and allow the food to come to us. Abu Sufyan writes a letter to the Prophet, and this is how the Meccans started receiving the food again. And thus things gets back to the normal. Thumāmah himself did not take part in many of the battles because he was not in Medina, he was in the region of Yamamah. At the time of Abu Bakr Siddiq, Thumāmah participated in the battle against his own tribe because Musaylimah al-Kazzab was preaching false prophet. Musaylimah was also from Banu Hanifah, and he had some followers from the tribe. So Thumāmah fought against those people, joining the army of Muslims. Later he becomes Shaheed in one of the other battle fought. So this is the story of Thumāmah ibn Uthāl. See you again.